Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is March 4th, 2025, and the race for Antonio Cordero just got a little bit more complicated. Also, it's reported that Barcelona are closely tracking a young Georgian up-and-coming talent by the name Saba Karebashvili. And finally, Manchester United and Manchester City are set to fight over Trincao, which Barcelona could earn pretty good money from that race. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo and we'll begin this video with the bad news that it's been confirmed that Barcelona will not be returning to the Spotify Camp Nou until October of this year. And this is definitely a big blow for the club who were supposed to return to the Camp Nou November of last year. It was then pushed to December, then to February, then to April, then they said May. But now it looks like Barcelona are not going to be returning until October, almost a year after their initial return. And there's some even reports stating that Barcelona might not even go back until January of 2026. And this is, of course, a huge blow because this means that Barcelona are going to lose a lot of money out of this big delay. In fact, they're reporting that this season alone, Barcelona are set to lose 28 million euros because they didn't go back to the Camp Nou. And they're gonna end up finishing the season at the Olympic Stadium. Now it looks like Barcelona still need 3 more months to complete the VIP seating. They've also postponed the work on the roof of the Camp Nou until the summer of 2026. And the biggest problem also is that Barcelona have yet to obtain permits to operate the Camp Nou because there is no plan for evacuation or emergency in case of fire because their construction is still ongoing. And of course, without that, they can't get the permit from the fire department. And without the permit from the fire department, the stadium cannot be operational. So it looks like the delays continue with the Camp Nou. And the Turkish company Limac had promised that despite the delays, the stadium is still going to be completed in summer of 2026. But it doesn't look like it because if they've delayed the return by a year, we'll see what happens with the final day. Plus, not to mention, as I said, Barcelona have postponed the work on the roof until the summer of 2026, which is when the stadium was supposed to be completed. So not looking good for Barcelona. Now, another thing that's not looking good for Barcelona is the race for Antonio Cordero. Now, Antonio Cordero is someone that we've talked about in past videos. He's an 18-year-old left winger, a very promising attacker who currently plays in second division for Malaga. His contract expires at the end of the season. Malaga were working and still working very hard to renew his contract, but it looks like he's not going to be renewing and he will become a free agent during the summer. And of course, Barcelona have been working on signing him for quite some time, even considering paying some money during this winter transfer market, which was not possible given the club's financial situation. And well, despite Barcelona looking like they were in pole position to sign Antonio Cordero because he wants to come to Barcelona, plus his agent is Pini Zahavi, which is the same agent of Hansi Flick and Robert Lewandowski, the race just got a little bit more complicated because the player and his agent have requested a first team spot. And of course, Barcelona cannot guarantee that for 2 reasons. A, because they don't know if they're going to have enough space for him on the team. And B, which is the most important reason, they don't know if they're going to have enough financial fair play to register the player. And of course, the initial plan was to bring Antonio Cordero and put him in Barca Athletic, have him, develop a little bit more, adapt, and then start having him play with the first team and eventually get promoted to the first team. But now that Barca Athletic could be in danger of being relegated to 4th division, this, of course, has worried the player, and therefore he is asking for a first team spot. And this is, ironically, I talked about this in yesterday's video. I think it was the video. No, it was the podcast where I said, a big concern about Barca Athletic getting relegated to 4th division is that it's going to become difficult to sign players because there's a lot of young and up-and-coming players that Barcelona like to sign for Barca Athletic so they can grow and develop. And it's going to be a little bit more difficult to convince them to, hey, go play in 4th division, which is not even a professional division or considered a professional division. And it looks like we're already seeing the effects of that because Antonio Cordero worried about, having to play in 4th division. So he is requesting a first-team spot, which Barcelona cannot guarantee. Now, speaking of signing young and up-and-coming players, it's reported that Barcelona are closely tracking an up-and-coming Georgian talent by the name of Saba Kharibashvili. Now, if you haven't heard of Saba Kharibashvili, I know I haven't. He's a 16-year-old left back who currently plays at Dinamo Tbilisi. He, in fact, became the youngest player to debut in a UEFA competition last season when he debuted at the age of 15 years old. And it's reported that Barcelona have been closely tracking this youngster, where Barca scouts have been seen multiple times at matches where Saba Kharibashvili was playing. And it looks like Barcelona are very interested in signing him. And he could be a very affordable signing, where it's reported that Dinamo Tbilisi would only ask for around 5 to 10 million euros. And of course, these are the kind of signings that I always say Barcelona need to be making, young, promising players who don't cost that much. Because if they end up, blowing up, hey, you just won the lottery, you spent 5-10 million on a superstar. And if they don't work out, it doesn't matter. You only spent 5-10 million euros versus, spending 130 on Dembele, who didn't work out. Now, Barcelona do have some stiff competition for this youngster because both Madrid and Liverpool are very interested in the player and have also been tracking him for quite some time. Now, on to the next bit of news because, ladies and gentlemen, Barcelona have initiated talks with the camp of Joan Garcia. Now, Joan Garcia is someone who we've also talked about on this channel. He's a 23-year-old goalkeeper who currently plays for Espanyol. As you know, Barcelona are currently scouting the market for possible signings for the goalkeeping position, given that Marc ter Stegen is not getting any younger. And Joan Garcia is someone that Barcelona really, really like for 2 reasons. His age, that he's only 23 years old, so he has a pretty high ceiling for improvement. And plus, he has been doing great in La Liga. But of course, the big problem is that Espanyol have vetoed Barcelona. They won't negotiate with Barcelona. So the only way to sign the player is to pay his release clause, which is set at 30 million euros, which is not too bad. And as such, Barcelona have initiated talks with the player's camp. Now, there are other clubs who are after the player and who are also willing to pay the release clause, including Bayer Leverkusen and Arsenal. So Barcelona definitely have some competition in this area as well. Now, we will end today's video with the good news that Manchester United and Manchester City are set to fight for Francisco Trincao. As you might recall, Francisco Trincao played at Barcelona. Barcelona signed him for 31 million euros. He did not work out, so he ended up leaving to Sporting CP. He's been doing really well in the Portuguese league so far, scoring 9 goals and provided 13 assists. So this has definitely caught the attention of 2 big Premier League clubs, which are Manchester United and Manchester City, who are set to battle it out for the signing of the Portuguese attacker. And why is this relevant to Barcelona? It's relevant because Barcelona still have 50% of the rights of the players. So whatever Manchester United or Manchester City end up paying, Barcelona will be able to get half of that. Now, Francisco Trincao does have a release clause worth 80 million euros. So if any of those clubs pay the release clause, Barcelona get 40. That's a really good deal. I don't think it's going to get to that. Most likely they're going to end up paying, 55, maybe 50 million euros. But either way, Barcelona are set to make a good chunk of money come this summer of a player who's not even theirs anymore. Well, he technically is, since they still own 50% of his rights. Now, Barcelona do have an option to buy back the player worth 25 million euros. But of course, Barcelona are not planning on that. And instead, they're looking to make a decent sized amount of money if he ends up going to the Premier League. And that could be a way to offset the losses from not going back to the Camp Nou during this season. All right, that is all the news for this video. I did upload another video a few moments ago, so make sure to check it out. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, Visca Barça.